Dear viewers, this is Panipat city of India, which is home to Asia's largest textile slum, where every year 1 million tons of discarded clothes from all over the world arrive. Every piece of clothing you have ever thrown away in your life has likely passed through this very place. Panipat processes more textile waste than anywhere else in Asia. Here, more than 300,000 laborers work in 20,000 industrial units.
I am going to take you inside this hidden world, where your old t-shirts get a second life. But what is the price that has to be paid for this? Mountains of clothes stretch as far as your eyes can see. This is the place where the entire world dumps its mindless fashion. Every day, ships arrive at Gujarat's Kandla port, carrying containers filled with discarded clothes from the United States, Canada, European countries, Korea, and Hong Kong.
These are not just any ordinary clothes. These are the same shirts, pants, and dresses that people like you and I once wore, and then donated or threw away, thinking we were doing something good. But what is truly shocking? That is this. Panipat has earned the title of the world's textile recycling capital, and it is not hard to understand why. Every single day, this city processes approximately 2,740 tons of textile waste.
This weight is equivalent to about 400 elephants being cut, processed, and transformed within 24 hours. As soon as these clothes reach Panipat, they begin an incredible journey of transformation. But this transformation comes at a price that most of us never see or think about: the laborers here. The laborers here do not just handle a few pieces of clothing. They are dealing with an endless stream of fashion mistakes from around the world, fashion waste, and thoughtless purchases that someone decided they no longer wanted. A cotton shirt from New York could become part of a blanket sold in Delhi. A polyester dress from London could be shredded and turned into new yarn that travels back to Europe as a new product. This scale is almost completely beyond comprehension. When you multiply 1 million tons by the number of garments, we are talking about billions of pieces of clothing flowing through this single city every year. Every piece tells a story of consumption, disposal, and rebirth, but also of the heavy hidden costs of our shopping habits. What do you think about all of this? Do let us know in the comments. We read every single comment. In these massive sorting facilities, human hands move faster than any machine. Laborers sit in rows, their fingers moving with incredible speed and precision, sorting through mountains of discarded clothes. They can identify the type of fabric, color, and quality of the clothes in seconds, making decisions that determine the entire recycling process. But these laborers, whose expertise and speed make this whole industry possible, earn only 1 rupee for every piece they process. Think about that for a moment. 1 rupee is approximately 1 or 2 cents in US currency. If a laborer completes the task of cutting and sorting 250 pieces in a day, which requires extraordinary skill and endurance, they earn 250 rupees, which is about $3. An average laborer every day. An average laborer processes about 150 to 200 pieces every day, and these are not simple tasks. We are talking about carefully separating sleeves from shirts, removing buttons, zippers, and labels, and making precise cuts that determine whether a piece of fabric can be successfully recycled or not. The level of skill required for this is extraordinary, yet their wages do not reflect this expertise at all. What is even more concerning is the working conditions. These laborers use cutting tools that are sharper than kitchen knives. They are, but they cannot wear gloves because gloves slow them down. When you are earning 1 rupee per piece, speed becomes more important than safety. When your daily wage depends on how many pieces you can process, every second counts. The laborers themselves come from rural areas, drawn to Panipat by the promise of steady employment. Many have been doing this work for years. By constantly breathing in lint, microfibers, and dust, they are developing respiratory problems. But as one laborer told me, they have no other choice. They are poor and they need to work to eat. This work provides a means of survival, even though it is slowly damaging their health.
The clothes that once represented fashion, style, and personal expression in wealthy countries become a source of barely subsistence income for laborers in one of India's most polluted industrial cities. The waste of the global fashion industry becomes their daily reality, processed by hand for wages that, in those wealthy countries, wouldn't even buy a tea. Even a cup of coffee could not be bought in the countries where these clothes came from with the wages they earn. Do you think factory workers like these are being paid fairly? Comment yes or no below and share your thoughts with us. After sorting, these clothes enter a complex industrial transformation that exposes the laborers to severe health hazards every single day. The shredding process is particularly dangerous. Heavy machines tear the fabric apart, creating clouds of lint, microfibers, and dust that fill the air like a toxic blizzard. The laborers. Laborers operate these machines without proper safety equipment, breathing in particles that international studies have linked to severe respiratory diseases. Research from the University of Technology, Sydney shows that inhaled nano and microplastics can penetrate deep into the respiratory tract, potentially causing asthma, fibrosis, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. But the workers here do not have the luxury of choosing safe conditions. 27-year-old Nirma Devi wraps her dupatta tightly around her face, but she says that it does very little to protect her. After 6 years of this work, her chest feels tight, her skin itches, and on some nights she finds herself gasping for breath. Doctors tell her that it is because of all the dust she breathes in every day. But she cannot afford the risk of quitting this job. The transformation process itself is fascinating from a technical standpoint. To obtain the most valuable color, which is white, the clothes are first bleached. The prices for white cloth are the highest. They are because it can be dyed in any color, making it the best for new products. But this bleaching process introduces another layer of environmental and health concerns. The shredded cloth then passes through teaser machines that make the fibers uniform. Following this are the carding machines that create layers, and finally, the spinning machines that transform these fibers into new yarn. Every step releases more particles into the air, and each step requires the laborers to remain in close proximity to these hazardous conditions. The final product is quite remarkable. That discarded shirt becomes a yarn that can be woven into blankets, carpets, or new clothes. The circular economy works, but it is working on the backs of those whose health is being constantly destroyed by the very process that gives our old clothes a new life. What is particularly disturbing is that for most laborers, this is not a short-term job. Many have been doing this for years, even decades. Breathing in these particles day after day, year after year, the health effects represent a hidden cost of our global recycling system that never appears on any company's balance sheet. Around Panipat, 32 illegal bleaching facilities are operating right in front of everyone's eyes. These are not hidden factories. They are vast industrial complexes spread across agricultural land, processing chemicals in the open air without any oversight. Right in the middle of farming villages, bleaching units extend as far as your eyes can see. Laborers handle hazardous chemicals without proper protection, and the air is filled with toxic fumes. But all of this contaminated water, mixed with bleaching chemicals, is released directly into the environment without any treatment. Near sensitive areas like the Yamuna River, there should be a rule where all water must be cleaned and reused within the factories. But during my investigation, I saw no evidence of this happening. The problem is not a lack of regulations. The problem is that these bleaching units continue to operate illegally because the penalties are too weak to stop them. In some areas, the factories, they just dig pits and let the toxic water seep directly into the ground. The groundwater, which the local communities depend on for drinking, cooking, and farming, is being systematically poisoned by the very industry that is supposed to help the environment through recycling. About 80% of the wastewater from these units flows directly into the environment. Government records show more than 80 such points around the city that discharge directly into drain number 2, a major industrial drain that leads to the Yamuna River.
This toxic water then flows through Delhi. It flows downstream, affecting millions of people. Tests conducted by the Haryana State Pollution Control Board found pollutant levels far above the legal limits. Water samples contained nearly 4 times the permitted levels of solid waste, with very low oxygen levels, making these rivers unfit for aquatic life. A 2022 government report found groundwater contaminated with manganese, lead, nitrates, fluoride, cadmium, nickel, zinc, and copper. The National Green Tribunal of India investigated and found that 31 out of 32 dyeing factories were operating illegally. They were. In August 2025, they ordered all of them to be shut down. But here is a frustrating truth. According to environmental activist Varun Gulati, enforcement has remained limited. In 5 years, about 150 illegal factories were shut down, but many simply changed their names and resumed operation. Out of the 5 billion rupees in fines imposed, authorities have collected only 370 million. The rest was either reduced, stayed, or never collected at all. This means that polluting the environment is still cheaper and more profitable than following environmental regulations. The environmental pollution I just described is not just a textbook problem. It is destroying the health and lives of entire communities around Panipat, and the statistics are absolutely terrifying. People in areas surrounding these textile factories no longer dare to use well water. Hartej Singh, who lives in a village on the outskirts of Panipat, had to shut down his borewell after discovering that the groundwater was not safe to drink. He said that the water has become their biggest curse, and every borewell near the industrial drain brings only misery, making people sick and spreading illness throughout the entire community. A 2022 household survey conducted near Panipat's textile industrial areas revealed that nearly 93% of households reported facing severe health problems over the last 5 years. Let me repeat that. 93% of the families living near these recycling factories have faced serious health issues, which they link directly to industrial pollution. The types of health problems are exactly the same that you would expect from long-term exposure to industrial chemicals and airborne particles. Hypertension, diabetes, and heart diseases are now very common in these communities. Skin diseases like rashes and eczema are reported frequently, especially among children and women who wash clothes or fetch water from contaminated sources. Even more terrifying is that villagers report many cases of cancer, which residents believe is directly linked to the polluted water supply. Although to establish a definitive cause, large-scale medical research is required. The link between industrial pollution and these health outcomes cannot be denied. Workers inside the factories face even more direct health consequences. International studies have shown that long-term exposure to microfibers, especially nylon, stops the repair and growth of respiratory tract cells, posing a severe threat to the lungs. Laborers like Nirma Devi are the faces of thousands whose respiratory systems are being daily damaged or compromised by textile dust and chemicals. Exposure is being destroyed. The tragedy is that these health effects are entirely preventable. Proper ventilation systems, safety equipment, water treatment facilities, and the enforcement of existing environmental regulations could eliminate most of these problems. But implementing these solutions would increase costs, and in an industry where workers earn as little as 1 rupee per piece, profit is clearly placed above human health. What makes this even more tragic is that many workers understand the health risks, but they feel they have no other option. As Nirma Devi explained, doctors tell her that she must quit this work, but she cannot do so. She fears that she will end up just like her father-in-law, who suffered severe health consequences from the same kind of work. But for now, this is the only way for her family to survive. This creates a vicious cycle where poverty forces people into hazardous working conditions, which then create health problems that drain them even further financially and make them even weaker. The waste of the global fashion industry becomes not only an environmental problem, but also a human rights crisis affecting millions. Now I bring forward the economic forces that make this entire system possible, and why your discarded clothes are processed under these conditions. The minimum daily wage for textile workers in India is between 500 to 800 rupees, which is approximately 6 to 10 US dollars per day. On the other hand, in the countries that send their textile waste to India, the hourly wage is often twice that amount, around 1,000 rupees or 12 US dollars per hour. This means that a full day's wage in India is equivalent to what a worker in a developed country earns in just 30 minutes. This massive wage gap is the reason why textile industries have outsourced both production and waste processing to countries like India and China. It is not just about lower costs. The cost is so low that it becomes economically impossible for developed countries to compete in labor-intensive tasks like textile recycling. The clothes being processed in Panipat are not just random discarded items. Many of them are products of fast fashion, an industry built on the foundation of making cheap clothes that consumers will quickly replace. These garments were designed to be worn for a short time and then thrown away, creating a constant stream of waste that needs to be processed somewhere. The economic incentives to maintain the system are perfectly aligned. Fashion brands in wealthy countries can produce cheap clothes because they do not bear the true cost of disposal and recycling. Consumers get cheap fashion, can buy cheap fashion because they do not see or pay for the environmental and human costs of processing their discarded clothes. And the recycling factories can remain profitable because wages are so low that they benefit even by paying workers just 1 rupee. This creates what economists call externalities. The true price of fast fashion includes the cost of medical treatment for workers with respiratory illnesses, the environmental cost of cleaning contaminated water, and the long-term economic cost of ecological damage. But none of these costs are reflected in the price that consumers pay for clothes. The global trade in textile waste has become a form of environmental colonialism, where wealthy nations export their waste and environmental problems to poorer countries that lack the political or financial power to refuse. India does not process the world's textile waste because it is the best place to do so, but because it is the most financially desperate. What is even more disturbing is that this system is presented as an act of environmental goodwill. Politicians and industrialists celebrate textile recycling as the solution to fashion waste. This is done without acknowledging that the recycling is happening under conditions that would be illegal in the very countries where the clothes originated. In March 2025, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi called Panipat a global textile recycling hub. But behind that title lies a heavy price paid by laborers and local residents. The economic reality is that this system works only because it is built on exploitation. If workers were paid fair wages, and if environmental regulations were properly enforced, and if health and safety standards were maintained, the economics of shipping textile waste across the world would simply not make sense. So, what have we learned from this journey inside Asia's largest garment graveyard? We have seen that our global fashion system is built on a foundation of environmental destruction and human exploitation that most consumers never see. Every piece of clothing we discard becomes part of a system where workers earn just 1 rupee per piece while breathing in toxic dust, earning what slowly destroys their health. We have seen how illegal bleaching factories contaminate the water, affecting millions of people who never chose to be part of this industrial process. We have learned that 93% of the families living near these factories suffer from severe health problems, while the global fashion industry continues to profit from this hidden suffering. But here is what you can do right now to become part of the solution. First, before buying new clothes, ask yourself, do you really need them? The most sustainable garment is the one that is never manufactured. Second, when you do buy clothes, choose quality over quantity. Invest in pieces that will last for years, not just months. Third, when you are done with your clothes, look for local recycling options that do not involve shipping waste to developing countries. Most importantly, share this video with everyone you know. This system only changes when consumers in wealthy nations understand the true cost of their fashion choices. The workers of Panipat have no voice in the meetings of global fashion brands. But as a consumer, you have a voice. I want to know your thoughts in the comments. After watching this investigation, what one change are you willing to make in your clothing purchases? Remember, every purchase is a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. Make your vote count, and don't forget to subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so we can see you again in our next video. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. I hope you have learned something or found this eye-opening. Enjoyed it. Your support truly means the world to us. Wishing you all the very best. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, please like it, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next video.